The Order of the Eastern Star, or the O.E.S., what is it exactly? Put simply and straight to the point, it is a female version of Freemasonry. I want to show you a few of the pentagrams here that are used in Freemasonry as well as the Eastern Star organization for women. In the Church of Satan here, we have a pentagram, and I'll show you this here with the 2 points up, 3 points down. And notice the goat in the middle of this, the Baphomet head in the middle of this 2 points up, 3 points down pentagram. Remember in the Gospels, Jesus did say that he will put the goats on his left, and he called some of the priests he was speaking to, "You are of your father the devil," and he called them goats. Okay, this makes more sense, especially in these last days when we see the Baphomet figures coming out with the goat heads, the pentagrams with the the picture of the goat head in the middle. So the goat head, or the satanic symbol, is the 2 points up, 3 points down. If many people that are mentioning Lucifer, who they consider to be the light bearer, a god of good and out to help humanity, if I'm correct, I believe is the 3 points up, 2 points down. But what's interesting about the Eastern Star and Freemasonry is they go by the Satanic Star, which I just showed you, the Church of Satan Star with the 2 points up, 3 points down with the goat of Mendes in the middle, or the Baphomet goat head in the middle. They go by this symbol here, which is the same symbol as the Church of Satan, and this is what the Freemasons go by, and even the Eastern Star. So I wanted to show you that. And each symbol within those, within these, the arms of the star represent supposedly a woman in the Bible that did something heroic. But here you've got, like, of course the Freemasonic symbol here. But this is one of the stars, or the symbols of the Eastern Star, which again is just a female version of Freemasonry. Here's another symbol for that here, and you've got the another symbol for the Eastern Star. Again, the 2 points up, 3 points down. And this is the same satanic star that I showed you from the Church of Satan. Notice that? It looks the same. 2 points up, 3 points down. There's the Eastern Star and Freemasonry symbol, 2 points up, 3 points down. It's evil, guys. It's evil. Here's another symbol that represents the Eastern Star, in case you see this. Either a woman talking about it, or maybe you'll see a symbol like this sometime. But this is the E.O.S. symbol. So this is another symbol for the Order of the Eastern Star, or the O.E.S. I'm sorry, the O.E.S. symbol, the Order of the Eastern Star. So that's another symbol for the women's version of Freemasonry. So I'm showing you these symbols so that you can be familiar with them, so that if you know any women that are involved in this Eastern Star, that what they're basically doing, and they'll tell you that these symbols that are in the arm, that are in these points on these stars, just represent different heroines or women of the Bible. This is not true. If you look you look up the broken pillar here, that has an esoteric occult meaning. All of these things do. This pentagram in the middle of this represents the evil goat's head, Baphomet pentagram, and this represents both Freemasonry and the Eastern Star. So I want to read you some history here about the Eastern Star, the women's version of Freemasonry. It says the women's division of Freemasonry of the Eastern Star is based upon the evil Satan Star, or the goat's head of Mendes. This is one of the infernal names of Satan within Satanism. In looking at the Eastern Star, or the goat's head, above right, the star itself is a goat's head, and the star in the middle is a plain goat's head, which is within an inverted pentacle. In one symbol, there are 3 instances of inverted pentagrams. So just how important is the pentagram to the Satanist? Okay, and then it goes on to talk about how they spoke to a witch of Salem in Massachusetts, Laura Cabot, on this question in her book, The Power of the Witch, the Earth, the Moon, and the Magical Path to Enlightenment. Cabot says it really isn't that difficult to distinguish the craft from Satanism. Now, let's stop right here for a minute. Remember, I've gone over with you from the book of Daniel. Remember when it says in the book of Daniel, Daniel was shown by God that the man of lawlessness, the prince that shall come, will cause the craft to prosper in his hand. Remember, I was telling you in the video yesterday about Freemasonry, exposing Freemasonry further, that another name for Freemasonry is the craft. So what does this witch say here? What does she call Freemasonry and Satanism? It really isn't that difficult to distinguish the craft from Satanism. She calls Satanism, Freemasonry, the Eastern Star, the craft, which is where the pentacle with the point up. Satanists reverse it with the point down. So this is what we're talking about the star here, okay? 2 points up, 3 points down. Once we examine the two symbols above, both Masonic, we can only conclude that Freemasonry and the Eastern Star admittedly serve both the good Lucifer and the evil Satan. Cabot has more to say, this is that witch that we're talking about, more to say on page 93 about the significance of the pentagram to witchcraft. Pentagram, consists of a 5-pointed star inside a circle. It is the key symbol of the craft. Enough said right there. What did Daniel say about the prince that shall come, that shall destroy the city and the temple? That he will cause the craft to prosper in his hand. Now, those of you who follow this channel know that I believe that one of the popes of Rome will be that final man of sin. The pentagram inside a circle, or with no circle, is the key symbol of witchcraft. Both good and evil pentagrams are within Freemasonry and the Eastern Star in abundance. Remember, in the occult, in the esoteric, they have the light and dark contrast, the good and evil contrast. So they believe that having this duality is important. The Church of Satan, which you can look up, this is their star. Okay, how is that any different than the organization of the Eastern Star or Freemasonry, which claims to be a godly organization? Look at this pentagram from the Church of Satan, and you tell me. Now look at this. Now you tell me. They look the same. The only difference is that within the Eastern Star, they have different symbols here representing supposedly different women of the Bible and things like that. It's supposed to look godly. Like Paul said, they try and present themselves or masquerade as angels of light and look godly on the outside, but deny the power thereof.
See yourself, you are the spirit. Uprising. Welcome to today's show. I know everybody out there, for the most part, is familiar with this. I just don't have any videos on it. I mention them all the time in my videos when talking about Freemasons and the occult. But I wanted to have a video out there because there are a lot of people who aren't aware of who the Eastern Star is. So ladies, you're not off the hook. For those of you who think that all of these satanic cults are all men's only cults or started by men, because we know the Freemasons only accept men. Well, the Eastern Star, the Order of the Eastern Star, is the female version of the Masonic Order. Now, it's not an only woman's club, because men do have the right to join, but it is basically completely operated and run by women. It has pretty much the same rules that are required in Freemasonry taught to females, which means ultimately that these people worship, or these women, I should say, worship Lucifer. And this is another recruiting ground for people who are female to get into the order and to start spreading their cancerous beliefs around local towns in America. Now, what's really humorous about this is we know that the Freemasons, right, they claim that they're not Satanists and they don't worship Lucifer, even though the books that they read, the teachings that they read, go to Pike's teachings, all teach that. What's funny about the Order of the Eastern Star is all one would have to do with common or little knowledge of the occult is look at their logo. The upside down pentagram, right? That is the Satanic pentagram as their logo. So they're not even saying that they're Wiccan, which when you see the upright pentagram, that's the regular pentagram is supposed to be for witches, people who practice witchcraft. The upside down is people who are satanic, right? We see the Satanic Temple uses it as their logo. We see it all over the place, the Baphomet pentagram. And the women's division of Freemasonry Eastern Star is based upon the Satanic Star, the goat's head of Mendes, and it is one of the infernal names of Satan within Satanism. In looking at the Eastern Star goat's head, the star itself is a goat's head, and the star in the middle is a plain goat's head, which is within an inverted pentacle. In one symbol, there are 3 instances of inverted pentagrams. So, just how important is the pentagram to the Satanists? The Witch of Salem, Laura Cabot, on this question in her book, Power of the Witch, the Earth, the Moon, and the Magical Path to Enlightenment, says, it really isn't that difficult to distinguish the craft from Satanism. Witch is where the pentacle with the point up, Satanists reverse it with the point down. So all one would have to do is look and see the logo itself to just dismiss this and not even go any further and go, this is a group of female Satanists, women who worship Lucifer. Now, of course, what happens with these orders, especially here with the Order of the Eastern Star, which was, of course, set up by a Freemason, Robert Morris, because they felt at the time that they needed to organize women and start teaching this to women as well as men. But what they try to do with all of these things is say that the order is based on teachings from the Bible. That is nothing more than a lie. These people do not believe in Jesus Christ. They do not follow our Father in heaven. They follow Satan. But they'll tell you that they follow the Bible. That's why people go, I thought Masons believe in God. No. The order is based on teachings from the Bible, they claim, but says it is open to people of all religious beliefs. And the real thing that they all have to do is worship that there is a believe that there is a higher power. Now, they don't say Yahweh, they don't say Jesus. They say just you have to believe that there is somebody out there, there's some supernatural power. I believe the exact quote that they use is they say that one follower or member of the organization has to believe in a supreme being. In other words, they want you to come in with that mindset or say, listen, you have to believe in a supreme being. As you move throughout the lodge, you find out to them that they're teaching you that Lucifer is the supreme being. These people go along with it. Once they're in, they can't get out. You could see some of the video clip that I'm showing above in this video. You can see them using the same secret Masonic handshakes, wearing the same embarrassing bibs. I mean, you think maybe they'd update these outfits, right? They're wearing bibs, for crying out loud. What are they, 3 months old? Got bibs on, got white gloves on. I mean, they think they're some type of royal elite, but they're not. And what's funny, too, about the Eastern Star is that even on their website, the first thing they'll do is deflect. They'll say frequently asked questions. Is the Order of the Eastern Star a secret society? Answer, no. Secret societies are underground and hard to find. We are easily found within the community, but we enjoy a distinctive means of identifying each other. Only members are allowed in closed meetings. So if members are allowed in closed meetings, those are secret meetings between members of an organization, which would make it a secret society. Are they that stupid that they just can't even realize they just, answered the question the opposite way after saying no? But see how they have to deflect that right off the top? And the only other thing that's important for people to know is that they have to worship a supreme being. But all one would have to do is look at the logo and see. These are women who are being indoctrinated with the Masonic teachings. And they're showing you in their logo flat out that they're Satanists. And every town has one of these. Every town has one of these. The Order of the Eastern Star was established in the late 1800s by Robert Morris, who was a famous Masonic author who believed that women should be allowed to partake in the knowledge of Freemasonry. Throughout the years, he conceived the idea of the Order of the Eastern Star where, since Freemasonry could not allow women to become members, women would be given the opportunity to learn Masonic values and use them for self-improvement through this separate fraternity. I mean, this is the crap that they push. Self-improvement, we're a group of friends, we're good for the community. Of course, they push philanthropy on the Wikipedia. If you just go to the Wikipedia page, which obviously doesn't give you any real information, it just gives you a scarce background, and it tells you some of the officers within the 18 main officers in a full chapter of the Eastern Star. Stuff like the worthy matron, the worthy patron. I mean, how embarrassing. Are we playing make-believe here? These people 10 years old, playing with teacups. They have the conductress, the chaplain, the marshal who presents the flag, Ruth, Esther, Martha. I mean, it's just really, it's ridiculous. But, the fact that they're Satanists make it something serious and a concern that people should be aware of. But, I mean, it's just embarrassing when you look at it. But anyway, it talks about the charities they're involved in. Remember, philanthropy is how they get away with a lot of this stuff. Because they make these secret societies, these secret orders, look like they're doing good for society and good for the community. They show up, and really what they're doing is they're trying to recruit people. Now, I never even leave my house, but I did go to one of those fall food festivals. Was like a couple towns over, like an hour or so away. And I just said, all right, I need to get out of the house before I get cabin fever here. So I went to see maybe there's some good grub, right? And what they have at these things is they have women and men. They try to sell stuff that they've, carved with wood, bird houses or, stuff they've knitted, like winter hats and scarves. I mean, just kind of, and then local, jellies and jams that people have made, right? So they have some tables set up and then they have food. And of course, I never leave the house. I get there, I see some of this stuff. I'm like, I'm not buying any of this. I don't want it, and I don't need it. But I'm walking through it, just trying to get some air, and what do I see? A gigantic table set up for the Eastern Star with a giant pentagram sitting there. Satanic pentagram, right? And a sign, and it says, we're giving, come by, try our pie. I was trying to warn people the pie probably had poison in it. And I did yell something over. I said, effing witches, excuse me, but I did. And I'm pretty positive that they heard it because they were staring me down. But remember, these Satanists can also sense the Holy Spirit in people. And they had their eyes on me the entire time I was there. But regardless, what I'm trying to say is that these organizations are out and about in communities trying to recruit. And people do join, right? So back to the charities, they go on to talk about how for Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, all this stuff they donate money to. This gives people the perception that they're an organization that is here to help the community, to help the world. That is one of the main, deceitful practices that they practice. This goes back to, the Masons, the Skull and Bones, all of them. And they all teach each other that, to be philanthropists. That's why all these people in Hollywood are always talking about charities they work with. It's all part of keeping people in control and looking at these organizations as if there's something better or nicer than they really are. That, no, there's no way these people could worship Satanists. These people are witches, Satanists. That's what they are. Okay, and if you've ever seen some of the women in the Eastern Star, woof, I'll tell you that much. Boy, you think these people who are practicing all this witchcraft and Satanism and devoting their life to the devil might ask, maybe to Satan to do a little something to their teeth or their faces, but I guess not. Anyway, the Order of the Eastern Star does unite men and women who share the same values and can learn from each other. In around 1850, Morris published the Rosary of the Eastern Star, which contains everything he had been working on, quote-unquote biblical lessons, values and principles of the order, signs, emblems, and everything relevant to the Eastern Star. Morris went on to initiate his wife and his daughters. The initiation process in this is pretty much the same as the Masons. It's close to, knowing someone, having a family member who was one, getting recommended by somebody of a certain power in there to become a member. That's how these secret societies work. They do background checks on you and everything like that. But one of the last things I want to say, which is important, is that the Eastern Star, was set up around a lot of churches back in the late 1800s. And they would trick people and they'd say, this Eastern Star group, we're a group and we follow the Bible. And even with the pentagram symbol, because nobody knew what it meant. And they would recruit people in churches and they would still pretend and present themselves as if they were good following Christians, that they believed in Jesus Christ. And it's nothing but deceit. They still do this. They still try to get away with this. They still kind of will say that they follow the Bible, but they'll say, no. Well, we're open to all religions now because, we're getting to that point where it doesn't really take a rocket scientist to realize that these people aren't Christian. Back in the 1800s, everybody was falling for all this stuff with the Masons and with them. But don't fall for this kind of crap. If you see these people, call them out for what they are. This is the female version of the Masonic Order. Again, men can also join it, but it's good to just have somewhat knowledge of it. You don't need to know deep details of what they teach and what each thing on their star represents, because then you're just, learning more about them in a sense that you don't need to know. But just be aware that they're in your town. They're recruiting in our towns. They're out there. So when you see them, let them know. Call them witches. Say, we know what you do. We know what you practice. We're not stupid. The gig is up, because it is up. The devil's time is short, and these people know it. And they're doing everything they can to shut down YouTube, shut down the internet, shut down people's personal websites that are giving this information away because they got their hands caught in the cookie jar. They didn't realize that so many people were going to start catching on because they don't respect God. And God spreads this knowledge to people to wake people up. He wants to wake his people up from this slumber that everybody is in and show you that they have tried to fictionalize the Bible. They've tried to fictionalize God. They've tried to fictionalize the devil. So they can get away with this stuff. So people will go, oh, that's not true. That's not what they practice. And the signs and the symbols reveal it all. It's right in our faces. Look at the symbol for the Eastern Star. Okay? The same symbol, the Baphomet star, the pentagram, it's associated with Satanism and the occult. Satanic Temple's got the same symbol. Okay? It's not a coincidence. They didn't just pick it and go, well, we really liked stars and we wanted to flip it upside down because we thought it would look cool. And then they go on to say that they teach the Bible inside of their, secret meetings. It's a joke. An absolute joke. So keep your eye out for these witches in your town. They won't be hard to find. They'll probably be missing teeth and have mustaches. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.
You always live your life, never thinking of the future. Prove yourself. You are the move you make. Take your chances, win or lose. See yourself. You are the steps you take. You and that's the only way. Shake yourself. Your every move you make. So the story goes. Owner of a lonely heart. Owner of a lonely heart. Owner of a broken heart. Owner of a lonely
leader, J for the real worldwide hood star.
You know I've tried and tried, still I can't get you off my mind. I think about you all the time, girl. I know it's plain to see, girl, you were meant for me. I could be a dream, and you could be my fantasy, girl. Butterfly doors, dumb slap, make it real dope, but love don't come with that. It feel like it though till you lose what you got. So let me talk to you till you understand the chat. Let's get to know each other. I'm a CEO, I can meet your father, he'll be proud of you. I'm ill, I'm on the radio, I really rap, not a cat who just say do. I'm on MTV, you seen from the hood, we got shit poppin'. I've been around the world, windows up, tacked out, make a smoke twirl. I bring you everywhere I go, you my downest girl. You know I've tried and tried, still I can't get you off my mind. I think about you all the time, girl. I know it's plain to see, girl, you were meant for me. I could be a dream, and you could be